A lot has been said and hypothesized about Ronda Rousey's frame of mind after she loses, especially after her last her only two losses.
She circles the drain.
It does. That's a good way. It circles the drain. And then there are other people, other fighters who lose and have a completely different reaction.
Even people, by the way, not used to losing.
Exactly. And that would be like our guest who's joining us, Dominick Cruz, who fought right before Ronda did, and he lost in the bantamweight championship. Lost to Cody Garbrandt in a unanimous decision.
Dominic has had the belt for years now and lost the belt to him in this unanimous decision. Again, you know, everybody's talking about, to me, this wasn't a horrible loss.
Yeah,
because
I get
I think he won some rounds and he clearly lost.
And you're saying the points were close.
Yeah, it was. Here's the thing. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, let's just bring Dominic in. We can debate points later. Dominic, how you doing, man?
Oh, feeling good. How you guys?
We're good. So, Dominic, I got to say, given the backdrop of Ronda Rousey, I was really struck when we got you out an hour after the fight, and you were just kind of like, hey, you know, people lose. How do you explain your mindset versus her mindset?
Well, I can't sit here and try to pretend, first of all, that I understand what's going through Ronda's mind, you know? As an athlete, I understand what she's feeling in her soul, and it's hard to lose, it hurts. But in her mind, you gotta understand that nobody really has tapped into the things that Rousey has in this sport. She's on a different limelight in the sense of eyes that touch her, people's lives that she's touched. For whatever reason, the entire world connected with this woman so quickly that she blew up faster than anybody in the sport of mixed martial arts. That includes Conor, and that includes anybody. And she has revealed herself not just to the women of MMA, but also all of MMA in total. She was doing so much media work that it was exploding all of the UFC and everybody in it, not just her in the women's division. So that's a lot to carry. And so I kind of understand how she said, oh, I'm blacking out for media. I can't do this. I've done too much work already. I'm already bringing all these eyes to the show. I need to focus on the fight. Then she goes, she loses, and everything that she was already thinking about what happens if I lost came back and faced her again.
So, look, I got to tell you, I've got this feeling that what you do is really not that different than what I do or what anybody else does, that it's the way you handle a loss determines your success.
I was going to say, his job
determines your success in the future as well. That, you know, I think it's a real marker. And you really have handled this thing from what I've seen.
Well, it's tough. You know, I've said a lot, I talk a lot because I believe I'm going to go in there and back it up. I have to also do that with my loss. I can't only do it in success. I can't only do it in winning. That doesn't make a real individual. That doesn't make a real human being. That's what sport's supposed to bring out. That's what mixed martial arts is. You know, you hear people talking about MMA is not an art. What are you talking about? Anybody who says that has not been punched in the face, and you don't understand the inner peace, the understanding of what's going on in order to get in there and challenge yourself at the highest level. That's what we're doing, and that's what makes this so hard, and that's what made it hard for Ronda, and that's what makes it hard for me, but everybody handles it their own way.
Meryl Streep pissed you off, right?
Yeah, I think I just heard you say you'd like for Meryl Streep to get punched in the face once so she would understand.
I did not say that. We'll start with that first of all, okay? But what I will say is you have to challenge yourself at an entire different level than anybody can ever understand. When you challenge yourself, you find a different truth about human beings when you're getting punched in the face by them and you're trying to punch them in the face. You can't lie. So all this stuff that everybody lives in, all these things that people hide behind, don't say this, don't say that, there's none of that in a fight. So Meryl Streep, while I respect everything that she's done in acting, I would never go and say I act better than her, but I also would never say acting is not something that has relevance. And fighting mixed martial arts is extremely relevant to society today and making strong people.
Speaking of which, I guess the question now is, so now that you've lost, what's your head like? Because I think this is almost a metaphor for everybody else in terms of wanting to go back in, face Cody again. Does it freak you out a little bit that you lost? Are you off balance, or are you just forging ahead?
You know, every successful person in the world has lost somewhere to become successful. I've lost throughout my life. I lost a lot in camp leading up to this fight. it happens. I've lost before this fight, and I've come back stronger because I choose to look at things in a certain way. I have no problem facing Cody again. You know, if 3 ACL reconstructions straight back to a title fight didn't scare me, there's nothing in this world that's going to scare me except myself. I'm ready to get in there and fight again, and I'll get in there when I want to, but the thing is, these guys are all calling me out. You know, I was saying after the press conference, I was like, look, let Cody carry the target for a little while. Let him have the belt. Let him be champion. Well, guess what? He's carrying it, and he's already calling me out. Don't know what sense that makes. He's got the belt. He's got the people after him, but they're still calling for me. That says something about these gentlemen, and they can say whatever they want negative about me, but they need me to fight clearly. Otherwise, worry about yourselves, boys. You got plenty of fights in front of you. Let me, you know, get this body healthy again. I had 3 fights this year. I'm going to rest up my feet, rest up things a little bit, come back, be nice and fluent and ready, just like you boys were waiting on the outside for me. I'll be waiting for you soon enough, coming for that belt.
Okay.
Well, well said. Hey, by the way,
this guy is great.
Yeah, Dominic is great.
Dominic is just great.
And by the way, you can see some more of Dominic because you're going to be co-hosting on TMZ Sports, right?
I'm going to be trying to do that job with you guys, I guess. You know, you invited me, so let's check it out.
You can hang with Evan on that one. Although Harvey will probably jump in a little bit.
I will.
But you can. That'll be on FS1, so definitely check that out.
See you guys
Dominic,
soon.
thanks so much,
Thanks,
man.
Dominic.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Make sure to subscribe to TMZ Live to keep up to date on the latest entertainment news.
And if you want to keep watching, click on one of these videos right now.